All right, welcome. So today we're going to teach you how to solve a linear programming question using Microsoft Excel Solver. Okay, so the question is actually on the screen. I will not read this out to you, so you can hit pause right now to take a read at the question, and then we'll dive in proper. All right, I assume you have already done your reading. Okay, so I've actually prepared another sheet beforehand. So a lot of numbers here. Okay, don't worry. Let's look at it part by part. So let's focus on this table here because I think there's a lot of information here that we need to digest. Okay, um, so obviously, taking a very quick look at it, for every sandwich X we want to make, these are the ingredients we require: 4 units of chicken, 11 units of cheese, and 2 units of beans. Likewise for Y and Z. In the question, they also do provide us the profit. So let's just put it into the table as well: 17, 13, and 14. You don't have to put it into the table, but I personally like putting it to the table so it gives you a clearer vision of what's happening. Okay, so that is that for per sandwich. What are the ingredients we need? Now the question also states that every day we do have a limited supply of each unit. So for every day, we have 28 units of chicken, 80 of cheese, and 68 of beans. So this I will call it a constraint or the limit. Okay, either way, whichever you prefer, but I think constraint is a better word for it. Okay, so from this table, we are actually able to solve a lot of our equation now. Okay, let me see. Do pay attention to this statement. You will strive to earn as much profit as you can. So this statement alone tells us that this is a maximized problem. We're trying to maximize the amount of profit we can make. All right, so I'm going to hide this because I need more space on the board. Okay, for every solver or any linear programming equation, there's always three parts to it. So first is the variable, the objective, and then lastly is the constraint. The variable in this case is already quite obviously stated. The question stated that we're going to have X, Y, and Z. So this is the three kinds of sandwich we want to sell. All right, and then this would tie into our objective statement because you remember for every X we sell, we make $17. Y we make 13, and Z we make $14. Okay, so this objective statement, right? This is actually the sum of this tree because we ultimately, this is what we're trying to maximize. We're trying to make as much money as we can. All these cells here have actually been linked to this unit sold because at the end of the day, what we are trying to answer is how many units of X should we sell, how many units of Y should we sell, and how many units of Z should we sell. So this is a very important part where solver will come and tweak the numbers to find out. Okay, so going back to the objective statement, let's say we sell 1 unit of each. This is how much money we'll make. If we sell 2 units of X, this is how much money we'll make because the cells are linked. For every unit of X we sell, we are going to make that unit multiplied by $17. So 1 unit, we're going to make 17. 2 units, we're going to make 34. So likewise, everything else has been programmed or I would say linked to this unit sold part. Okay, so this line here is actually very, very important. Let's make it bright blue because end of the day, everything will come back to this unit. Okay, let me see. Okay, so if you're doing an exam or like a paper, because if you're doing an exam, right, they will actually ask you to state the objective function. Because this is in Excel, there's no need to state it lah because I'm not doing this for an exam. But if it's for an exam purpose, right, the function is actually here. The objective is to maximize 17x plus 13y plus 14z, as I've explained just now. Okay. So we have covered the variable as well as the objective function. So let us move on to the constraints. The constraints is a very important part of this entire equation because if we do not have a limit, right, then we can sell as many units of X, Y, and Z as we want. But now actually we are subjected to a daily constraint of 28 chicken, 80 cheese, and 68 beans, which is actually here as well. So okay, so this is here. So what I've actually done is I have tied in the amount required to make each sandwich. Okay, so for example, let's see if we want to make 1 unit of sandwich X. This is 4 units of chicken multiplied by how many units of X, and then this is how much ingredients we would need. Likewise, this is the same for everything. So let's just tweak the numbers a bit. If we change this to 2 units of X, you can see my constraints change also. All right, this is where actually solver will start to tweak your formula, and then you play with these numbers. You see everything changes. The objective as well as your constraints will change. These 3 numbers here are the same thing. Let me just put this here, total. So this is effectively the sum of everything, the sum of number of chickens we need, number of cheese we need, and number of beans we need. So the way we put it this way, right? So this tells us that at the end of the day, our total number of chicken used must be lesser or equal to 28. Number of cheese lesser or equal to 80, and likewise for beans. Okay, so now we have all this in place, right? We can actually start using solver. So how do you get to solver? You click on data, solver. Okay, plenty of things here. Let's just go through it slowly. Okay, first of all, remember we talked about our objective, right? So set objective, we were talking about the objective. This is the total we want. So we want to make as much money as we can from this situation. So we'll choose this cell, all right? And we want to maximize, minimize, or set to a value. In this case, we have discussed we actually want to maximize the amount of profit we make. So we'll choose maximize. Now we want to change the variable cell. Where's the variable? It's right here. These 3 numbers, okay? So you can choose these 3 numbers. And you see actually the parameters of solver actually tell you what you need lah. For example, and then the next part we move on to the constraints. Okay, so we talk about objective, variable, and constraints. So constraints, let us add our constraint. All right, so our constraints are here. Number of chicken must be less than 28. Number of cheese must be less than 80. Number of beans must be less than 68. So there you have it. We have our constraints already. I think something good to have is always check this box, make unconstrained variables non-negative, meaning we do not want like a negative amount of chicken sandwich or a negative amount of, sorry, not chicken sandwich. We don't want a negative amount of X sandwich or Y sandwich. Okay, so always tick this. And we're going to choose simplex linear programming. Okay, so let's solve this equation. I do want to keep our solver solution because this is effectively my answer. I also want the sensitivity report, which we will discuss in a later video. Okay, so let's do. So you can see from here, right? Let's come back to here. Right here, unit sold. So based on our objective, which is to make as much money as we want, based on this constraint, solver actually tells us that you should not make X sandwiches. You should make 8.36 of Y and 1.45 of Z. So this will bring us to a profit of $129. So this is effectively it, like taking a very long string of words and then putting them into Excel such that you can use the solver software to solve it. Like you can say, this format is what I like to use because it's just very clear cut. It's very easy to understand. Okay. One thing to take note, right? I think, okay, this question came out for my exam, and then they actually use allowed decimal place for this. But in reality, you can't sell 8.36 pieces of sandwich. It's like going to Subway and buying sandwich, and then you got an 8.36 of sandwich. Like it's just not possible. Okay, so for very much real world application, let's go back to solver. What we want to do is we want to add that this tree, our variable cells, remember X, Y, Z, we want to make them integer. Integer, I would assume it's like a whole number lah, in short. Okay, so you cannot have sort of point something. So you click solve again. Let's take a look. So you can see answers are a bit different, right? Just now was 0 and something I could not remember, but you can see because if it's an integer now, so they do reallocate the resources to you and telling you now we should make 2x, 5y's, and 2z of sandwich, which gives us a maximum profit of 127. So end of the day, I would not question how like why the constraints are such, because you can actually, I mean, solver really takes in all this information you're telling them, and then they're telling you this is the best way forward. If you want, you can take a pen and paper, and and then you just trace it out, do your trial and error. But I'm telling you, solver is the way to go. So this is your answer. Okay. In the next video, I'm actually going to share with you more about how we actually program program the format like this, okay, in greater details for those people who are not quite sure how to use Excel or not sure how to link this and that. So okay, next video we're going to talk about it. All right, see you.